right, we are live Wednesday, 7th period. This is going to cover the end of the quarter, and we have a couple big things. So if you'll notice, last time I posted this, actually yesterday, because I was doing the B-Day version of this class, and I just went ahead and put it on yours as well. So let me recap that. It says, hey, we're doing the code HS, and I like it, but I think we might have a little bit of a crunch if we try to do the whole thing. It kind of has a little project in there where it's like, okay, come up with an idea, do some sketches, and it's all great stuff, but if people came to me next week and said, hey, can I catch up? I would have to say, like, no, because it's all time consuming. So what I'm going to say is those first two parts, those are assigned, those are still assigned, you still do it. But the parts in the middle are optional. You can do it, and I'll give you extra for each one, but they're not required. You can skip to the end and do the quiz. So the quiz, obviously, if you skip it, you don't want to miss the ideas and do badly on the quiz. So let me give you right now a little summary of what this stuff covers. So it says, you start by looking at your users, and it uses this word empathy because it's telling you to not come up with what you think they should want, okay, or how you think they should do it, but to say, hey, what do they need and what is their mindset? They mention this thing called a beginner's mindset, and they say that it's good that you want to have a beginner's mindset in terms of what would somebody see if they open this up and they didn't know all the stuff that I know. Okay, it's kind of like when I have been talking to you guys about your chatbot, I say, hey, remember, they don't know what's in the code. They don't know what the menu is unless you tell them, unless you say at the beginning, hi, I'm a bot that can do this and this and this, and if you say this, I'll do it. But if you have amazing code behind the scenes and you just say hello, then they're not going to know that. But it's more in general, it's saying, okay, the users, whoever they might be, they are going to approach this with the knowledge and the skills that they bring, and your job is to deal with that, not to get mad at them and wish they were better. Then it says, okay, they've got a problem. Whatever the problem is, you identify it, and you start by brainstorming ideas by how you might address this problem. And it says the first step, come up with ideas with no judgment. Just throw them out there and try to list as many as you can. Then in a later step, you try to pick the good ones and bring them into more fruition. But for the first step, you want to just really, I think they call it ideate. You want to ideate. You want to have ideas. And then you're going to put it into practice a little bit, make a rough version, maybe run it by some users, do a little testing. And then the important thing, and really the key thing of all this that I've tried to mention since the beginning, is you have to loop through it. So you make something, test it, and then loop back around, change it a little bit, test it, loop back around. And so you go through this a few times. You might see this in a flowchart. We've designed some flowcharts that have loops. Or you might just think of it as, if at first you don't succeed, try again. That kind of thing is very stressed in here. So it's like you don't just do it once. You kind of go back and forth and bounce around until you get clearer and clearer goals and closer to them. And, that's pretty much it. I don't want to mention the specific questions that are going to be on the quiz, but if you have that idea and if you remember those key things and you use what you learned in the first two lessons, you'll be good. There is no retake built in, but if you take it and you don't like your score, I will accommodate that. I think I can just make another one or something like that. So if we had the CodeHS Premium, we could do retakes, but we haven't paid for that. We'll figure it out. Anyway, that's that assignment, and most of you guys are, you know, halfway there. The other assignment, the one I posted today, or I'm about to post today, let's hit the button, is the CQA, which is a big thing, and I'm calling it a CQA, but it's not a test. It's not like, you know, it's not what you would have in some classes where it's like cumulative and, okay, here's your multiple choice exam. This one is what you might call a reflection. You might have seen this in other classes where you are asked to reflect and consider what you've learned and what is next. So, last time, or this time in this quarter, you made a chatbot, and some of them were pretty simple and some of them were pretty elaborate. You guys wrote a ton of stuff with images and all kinds of things. Either way, you made an individual chatbot, and it was on a topic of your choice, following a template. You did a little bit of testing with users, and you did a little bit of... I have a window open, so we hear all kinds of sounds now. I just heard like a motorcycle or who knows what go into turbo mode. Now, next quarter, we're going to do groups. You're going to do a group, and each group is going to make a chatbot, but like a really good one with a good, solid, all-around approach to the topic where people can get more than just 1 or 2 layers of info. And it's going to have a good, solid visual design with maybe images or colors or who knows what. And it's going to do a good, solid amount of testing. So we're going to have you guys, you know, test it with some users, go back and change, test it again, go back and change, that kind of thing. So these questions will prepare you for that. They say, what did you learn? What do you need to work on? What role might you play in your group next time? What ideas might you have for your group next time? Let me give a quick tour through the questions because I want this video to be a sort of all-encompassing intro that if somebody asks me about it, I'll say, hey, you can watch this video and it has everything you need. So number 1 says, for your chatbot, what parts did you think were successful or not? Do you feel like you covered the topic or you just got started? First thing I'll say is these are not right or wrong, yes or no type questions. If you say no, that's fine. You can still get the points. This is not like asking you to grade yourself. This is asking you to think about it. If you say, you know what, it was a mess. I didn't have enough and it wasn't clear and I would do better next time. That's fine as long as you thoughtfully write a couple sentences about that. If you say, yeah, it was perfect, then that might even be kind of suspicious. So this is not asking you to bring yourself down. It's asking you to think about what you've got. 2, when we do a group chatbot, what role do you think you might play? Do you think you would write the Rive script code? Were you pretty good at that? Were you pretty good at like anticipating what people type and using the right syntax and doing the sometimes wild card, taking a word from the answer and putting it in your next one, things like that? Or do you think you might want to do some of the visuals and maybe work with the CSS and add pictures and change those colors and all that good stuff? Maybe something else. Okay, think about what you would want to do. And then when you are out browsing in the world, you probably see some chatbots. I saw 2 today when I went to the National Honor Society site. I had to do a thing with them, and they had a little pop-up in the corners like, how can I help you? And it was mostly just like trying to sell me stuff, like, oh, do you want to buy certificates or something? And I think if I typed a certain key phrase, it might have directed me to a human chat. I don't know. And then the other one I saw was I was looking at a vaccine site. They just send an email that's like, oh, click here if you're over 55 and you can see the vaccine. I don't know why I clicked. I'm not over 55, but I did, and there was a thing in the corner that said, how can we help you find a vaccine site? Okay, site meaning a physical place, not a website. So you probably have seen some chatbots out in the world, and if you haven't, you can just look at some major retailers or something, and you'll see one. And what do you think? How do they work? Do you like the ones that are multiple choice, or do you like the ones where you type in the box? Do you like the ones that send you to a human, or the ones that are pretty much simple scripted algorithm things? See what you think. Next, from the CodeHS, what did you learn in terms of the user experience thing? Because remember, next time, part of your project with the group is going to be to make a thing for a specific demographic. So up until now, we've basically been testing these things with each other. But what if you were going to make something for older people? Or what if you're going to make something for people who access this site on their mobile phone instead of a Chromebook? Whatever their circumstances are might be different. And then 5 is, what do you think about it? Do you have an idea of a group of users? You could do whatever you want. You could be like, this is going to tell people about Dungeons and Dragons. Or you could do something, and if you can't think of anything, what I would recommend is something a little more real world, like an actual problem that you see, like people who need to find a vaccine, or kids who are in online school and they want to see the impact slides. I don't know, something like that. Okay, obviously the best outcome of this would be if we actually use it on real people, and that is possible. So anyway, I thought about doing this as a Google form, but then I thought, I don't want people to open it, type it, and hit submit. I want people to open it, type a little bit, come back later, and really give this some thought. So just do these in a Google Doc, and when you put it all together, it'll be, a couple paragraphs. But take your time. Okay, this is not due until the end of the quarter, and this is a big deal. It's not like a little daily assignment where you can type a sentence and hit submit. If you do submit it and it's not quite there, and I say, you want to add some, you want to clarify this, I'll do that. If you turn it in before the end, I can give that feedback. If you turn it in at the end, I just have to take it, but take your time. So we're just continuing. If you want to work on the CodeHS today, if you want to start this today, that's great. I would not try to finish this today. I would take your time. Even if you write a whole doc and you think you're finished, just hang on, look at it tomorrow and see if you thought of better stuff. Okay, this video, I'll end it now before it gets to 15 minutes. That's kind of been my goal since the beginning, is like 15 is about as high as it goes. So I will end this now. Anybody can click on it from here and see the recording, and we'll look at CodeHS, grades, all that good stuff as we go. Thanks.